All right. Check, check. Is this thing recording? Yeah, let's do this properly. Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Ferris, and this is my studio tour. Welcome to my home studio. Let me give you a little background on the overall build. My studio has been set up in this space, my basement, for about 5 years now. When we bought the house, the basement was completely unfinished, which allowed me to do this build all myself. I went to great lengths soundproofing the space from the rest of the house and floating my ceilings down here to keep the space isolated as much as possible. So as we come around, what you're looking at here is a place that I call Hogwarts. It's an isolated space under the stairs, mostly used for recording guitar amps. I did have an artist do some vocals in there once. It gets a little warm and cramped, so I steer away from that. So as we move across the control room, we come to my multi-purpose space, which serves as my tracking room and a home theater. As you can see, there are 2 doors and 2 walls with an air gap to keep the space as isolated from the control room as possible. This room is heavily insulated behind the drywall and is also pretty dead acoustically because of all of the baffles I have around the room. The flooring has 2 tiers, which gives some cool options for recording, and there is plenty of room for a drum kit. Now let's talk gear. The studio centers around this beauty of a console, the Toft ATB24, which I picked up from Mr. Joel Plaskett in Halifax. So this is a 24-channel analog console. It has some great EQs. I love tracking through this board, and I also use the console to sum all of my mix bus groups. To the left, we have the toys. Starting from the top, there's a pair of Universal Audio 710 tube preamps. Love their flexibility. Below that, we have the Warm Audio WA2A, which is a faithful recreation of the classic LA2A optical compressor. Below that, we have Warm Audio's WA76 limiting amplifier. Below that are 2 super cool units that I love. The top one is the Lindell 18XS. It's a preamp with a Pultec style EQ. And below that, we have Lindell's take on the 1176 circuit, the 17XS. And if we look underneath all of that, we have the Land of Misfit toys. If we take a look at the rack on the right, we will see the workhorse for the studio, the Universal Audio Apollo 16, which is my analog digital converter and also supplies processing power for all the UAD plugins that I have. Now below that, we have the Drummer 1978 stereo bus compressor. Super cool unit. I love mixing into it. Awesome addition to this studio. So above that, we have the patch bay. This gives me patch points for every single piece of gear in this studio, and it also allows me to patch audio from anywhere in the house. Believe it or not, I actually have patch points up in my living room, so I can do recording up there. I can also send mixes up to the stereo if I want to reference in a different space. Moving up from that, I have a Lexicon MX400 reverb unit, and then above that, the Persona Central Station, which controls these beauties. My monitors. On the outside, Dynaudio LYD8s. On the inside of that, a pair of Atom A7X reference monitors with the ribbon tweeters. And right up the middle, I have an Oratone Mix Cube to give me that lo-fi mono reference. So that's pretty much it for the studio. I should mention, of course, the Ampex 440 quarter-inch tape machine. I don't use this thing as much as I thought I would when I picked it up, but I love having it. It's a super cool piece to have around. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, you know what to do. Take care.